And I've obviously had time to process everything and try to understand everything and, really kind of get my thoughts in order. We did do a live stream last night while the charity stream was going on over on Uche Waneri's channel, where Zack Snyder hopped on the stream after we raised about $60,000 and basically went out of his way to disavow from Geeks and Gamers and also simultaneously speak out against some of the hate that's been going on. A normal virtue signal from a Hollywood person.
I know I cover serious topics on this channel, and this kind of is one, but it's also pretty hilarious. You guys will have been waiting for this one. It's about Zack Snyder directly calling out Geeks and Gamers for basically spreading hate online. And when I first saw this clip, I could not stop laughing, because I know Geeks and Gamers as a community have been, leading this charge on the Snyder Cut. And when I get into some of, their videos before, they did this, this panel with Zack Snyder. But for him to then turn around and basically call them out on a live stream where a couple of the members of Geeks and Gamers are on it was just so funny to me. So we're going to get into all of this stuff. And what I think will be helpful in this video, I'm actually going to explain what Geeks and Gamers is, because I normally just say Geeks and Gamers and we think about Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and I guess he's kind of known as Geeks and Gamers the same way that Jeremy from The Quartering, both called Jeremy, we just call him The Quartering, we don't call him Jeremy for the most part. But yeah, this stuff is so hilarious. So we're going to get into their push for the Snyder Cut, we're going to get into what Zack Snyder said, then we're going to get into their reaction, and then finally we're going to get into Jeremy's reaction as the leader of Geeks and Gamers. And there is some serious things to highlight throughout this, but mainly this video is just funny because, again, I just found this so hilarious. Before we go any further, recently YouTube demonetized my entire channel, supposedly for bullying. What had actually happened is I'd been mass flagged by some community or some fans. Thankfully, after bigger creators like the Humanist Report, the Serfs, Carl Kalinsky, and Wowshi retweeted the tweet, YouTube went back on its policies, but it's shown me how fragile this is as a source of income. So if you want to support my work continuing for the future, regardless of what YouTube do, please consider becoming a patron. If you want to join our growing community, please check out the Discord and the subreddit in the description. And if you want to follow me personally, check out @the_Kavernacle on Instagram and Twitter. And also u/TommyCahill1995 for my personal Reddit. Also, we're slowly chugging along to 30k. Every 5k we get a new chocolate orange. You guys know you want to see the 6th lovely chocolate orange. And I promise if I ever hit 100k, I'm just going to be sitting on stream eating most of them. So you know you want to see that as well. So help this channel grow, like the video and share it. So let's first get into how excited these guys were for the Snyder Cut. Now, Ryan Kinnell is another anti-SJW YouTuber I've made a couple videos on. Not him directly, but he's featured in some of my broader topics. Now, I didn't realise until a couple months ago, he's actually a part of Geeks and Gamers, and he was actually on the live stream with Zack Snyder. But he was really excited for this new Justice League cut. So here are a couple videos, here's a little montage of Geeks and Gamers in the community being hyped for Zack Snyder's final cut of Justice League.
It is Jeremy, joined by Ryan Kinnell and Lethal Lightning, two mega Zack Snyder fans, two people that I can't even imagine how good it feels to be them today because of the long-awaited, the long battle, the announcement of the Snyder Cut. Wow, there's a lot to talk about. I don't know much about this. I'm obviously not a big Snyder Cut fan in terms of, I'm not a big fan of Snyder's DCE, so I don't know a lot about it. I didn't watch the presentation, but let's just get initial reactions from you guys. Ryan, go.
All right, so this is something that's been going on since November of 2017 when someone said, hey, listen, guys, there's a cut out there that is nothing like this trash you just saw in theaters. It is one that is Zack Snyder's true vision. 21, the Snyder Cut It's here.
I've seen this concerted effort from a lot of these far left people, the blue check mark brigade, and it just seems like the mere mention of the existence of the Snyder Cut really upsets them. I made a video talking about, man, I'm kind of jealous of you guys because, like, I wish I could feel that excitement. So I've been an advocate of the Snyder Cut. I will argue with Snyder fans all day long, but ultimately, this is huge. This is huge for fans, for people speaking out.
What's going on, Geeks and Gamers? This is Ryan with Dark Outpost and geeksandgamers.com, and Zack Snyder loves his fans, which is one of the things that makes him so much different than the typical people in the Hollywood elites and the media that support them. And that is why so many people have tried to stop Zack Snyder from making his movie. But it is happening, it is here, and now we have the trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League. That Zack Snyder has a fandom that supports him and refuses to let this go and let this die, because that's what Warner Brothers wanted. They made a huge mistake bringing Joss Whedon in to change all of these things.
So keep that in mind for later, because it only makes the whole thing way more funny. Also, like I said, these anti-SJWs like to construct narrative. So Gal Gadot is anti-SJW, and she's anti-feminist, essentially, because they say she is, even though she said that, everyone should be a feminist. They ignore that convenient part because they do that so they can pit her against Brie Larson and create this fictional world where somehow the stuff these people both say about women are at odds with each other when they're very similar. So Zack Snyder has also been hailed as a sort of, anti-SJW, anti-corporate guy, probably because they're pushing how much they want this Snyder Cut thing onto his politics, like he's standing up to the man. So not quite the level of simping for Gina Carano, but they clearly want the Justice League film to be made, and they clearly want all this stuff to come out. Now, before we go any further, let's make clear what Geeks and Gamers is. So Jeremy is the head of Geeks and Gamers. He essentially started this channel, but it has multiple people in it. So you saw in those videos, Ryan Kinnell hosted an episode of Geeks and Gamers. Geeks and Gamers also has a politics channel called D-Day Cobra, and this guy's politics are far right. Most of these people who are involved in Geeks and Gamers are Trump supporters. Most of the stuff they talk about politically, if it wasn't obvious from that, anti-feminism, anti-diversity stuff they put on their channel, then it's obvious from D-Day Cobra, Jeremy's own channel. So to show why Zack Snyder might have wanted to emphasize he's not involved with these people, here's a quick little montage of Jeremy's response to a black bisexual Batwoman being cast, and also when these guys led the charge against Christina Ariel, who was the host of the High Republic show on YouTube, I think it's called.
We are with a woke character getting even woker. That's the answer. Yeah, our ratings plunged. Nobody liked this show. People made fun of it. So what do? We make it even woker. Because the white liberals, the powerful white liberals, are here to tell you what you need. And they're here to use people's race and their gender and their sexual preferences to push a narrative. So any criticism of this decision or this character of this show will be simply labeled an ist or an ism and angry men in their basement, yada yada yada. Today we are talking more about the High Republic, because the High Republic continues to prove me right when I said it was SJW garbage. Almost every person attached to the High Republic seems to have a problem with white people. The official Star Wars account has now admitted to exactly what we've been accusing this company of for years, that they support racism as long as it's against white people. They have taken 40 years worth of fans and stories and transformed it into a social justice propaganda machine.
So you can see there, if Zack Snyder was made aware of any of this, probably not a good look to have his Snyder Cut associated with these people. And we're going to get back into the problematic aspects of this, because there's someone mentioned in the credits of the Snyder Cut who is worse than Geeks and Gamers, so we're going to get into that when we conclude the video. But now, they were having a charity stream, these guys, to raise money for awareness, for mental health and things like that. So they did get Zack Snyder to come on because it was all centered around the Snyder Cut. So here we go. This is what Zack Snyder said when he came on.
He is the one, the only Zack Snyder.
There he is.
Hey guys, how you doing? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Just a quick thing before we get started. I know that on our donation page, we still have the Geeks and Gamers logo. I just want to say that I really we talked about this, and we're really not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers as far as I'm concerned, and I really just want to make that clear. And I also want to just say, in light of recent events, I think we really, if Justice League teaches us anything, it's about coming together, and there's no room for hate. And I just think that it's important. It's an important message. And of course, as the father of Asian children, it really hits close to home for me. And
so, of course, in the wake of Atlanta, he's mentioning, he has an adopted Asian daughter, and, he doesn't stand for hate or divisiveness or anything like that. And notice that Ryan Kinnell just slowly fuming in the top right.
And Zack Snyder loves his fans, which is one of the things that makes him so much different than the typical people in the Hollywood elite.
We're really not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers as far as I'm concerned, and there's no room for hate.
And Zack Snyder loves his fans.
Now, again, that is just so hilarious when you think about the context of the video I've made, showing how these guys really wanted the Snyder Cut and somehow revered Zack Snyder. This was probably a corporate move, but I do respect him for doing this. His politics seem to be centre-right, maybe American liberal, so I don't think he's the worst guy ever, although I don't really know his politics because his films are kind of weird with the politics of them. And he's also set to direct an Ayn Rand book into a film. I mean, how many people want to make Ayn Rand books into films if you don't kind of share those, more conservative capitalist politics? But, he seems like an okay guy. He's been through a hard time, so I respect him for calling out Geeks and Gamers. And I've called out Geeks and Gamers numerous times for essentially just pushing, hateful rhetoric and everything like that. And it's amazing that YouTube gives all these people a pass while trying to, get me off the platform for calling it out. It's a weird bit of hypocrisy on their part. Of course, these guys are very popular, make YouTube a lot of money for ad revenue, so you know why they tolerate them. So obviously a major embarrassment for the people involved with this stuff. So a guy called the Voice of Reason at Your Only Hope, go follow this guy because he did good work on this stuff. He put together a Twitter thread where he filmed some of it on his phone, so I apologise for the quality not being excellent on this stuff, but it's important to just, look at all these people react to everything.
Out there. I went out of my way when this entire thing started to tell Zack, you might want to understand what's about to happen by being connected to me. Multiple times I talked to Zack about this, and it got to the point where we fully agreed, yes, it needs to be on New Shay's channel. It got to the point where we knew we needed to take a step back with the Geeks and Gamers brand, and that's totally fine, because the individuals that are part of the brand are still going to elevate their own individual platforms, which in return still helps Geeks and Gamers, which is all I ever want is the individuals to succeed.
Do that. Imagine having some sort of cause. Doesn't matter what it is. Let's remove ourselves from the situation. And you organize something with someone. And as you are presenting this case, doesn't matter. You're raising money. It's for a good cause. It's actually something that's actionable. And the first thing that the dudes say, the person that you worked with on this says, yeah, I don't fuck with him, but thanks. Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with us. You throw us under the bus, bro. Further in the stream, did he co-sign or did he speak positively, specifically of Geeks and Gamers, knowing damn well that you guys raised the money? Did he bother to make that statement, say thanks to the Geeks and Gamers team for helping us raise all this money? No. But what he did do was make sure that he wanted to separate that, and I think he's associating Geeks and Gamers team with this sort of hatred deal. But
I know what I'm doing, and I know how to play the game, and I know when to be aggressive and when not. And right now is the moment to show what this brand is made of and the individuals in it. But I'm very, very frustrated. Now, here's what we're going to establish on this stream, okay? It's my stream, and I've been slandered with Geeks and Gamers enough tonight, and no matter who we're talking to after what I just listened to Zack Snyder do to me, and I do believe he slandered me.
So it really does raise some interesting questions. How much did Zack Snyder know about these people? Did he vet them properly? It's an interesting wrinkle. Do I think Zack Snyder necessarily knew what this guy was like? Perhaps not. Perhaps Warner Brothers are making him like these guys think. Still very funny. Now, we've seen Jeremy try to cope with Zack Snyder blaming them for all this stuff. Jeremy actually took the time to make his own video about this stuff, you know, a day later. This was a direct response to what was happening. So let's have a look at this, and let's have a look what he has to say about Zack Snyder's comments.
We have a lot to talk about. It was a very interesting night, to say the least. No doubt about that. And I've obviously had time to process everything and try to understand everything and, you know, really kind of get my thoughts in order. We did do a live stream last night while the charity stream was going on over on Uche Waneri's channel, where Zack Snyder hopped on the stream after we raised about $60,000 and basically went out of his way to disavow from Geeks and Gamers and also simultaneously speak out against some of the hate that's been going on. A normal virtue signal from you know, a Hollywood person. And that caused a lot of problems. The entire charity stream kind of went on a standstill for the next 20 or 30 minutes. The donations really stopped rolling in. It was a very awkward moment, but I am very, very proud of my team and how they handled themselves. Uche, Ryan, and Lethal handled themselves like true professionals. And I'm very, very satisfied and happy with how they handled themselves. Now, in terms of the comments made by Zack Snyder, it was a very poorly worded PR statement. This was someone who clearly was dealing with a lot. You can see it when he joined, and by what we know from behind the scenes, he definitely was definitely overwhelmed, and he made a very poorly constructed PR statement and then wanted to virtue signal. And this is what the problem is with virtue signaling and that moral superiority stuff.
I've seen this concerted effort from a lot of these far left people, the blue check mark brigade, and it just seems like the existence, the mere mention of the existence of the Snyder Cut really, really upsets them.
So I just watched that again during the recording of this, and I actually laughed out loud that he's saying Zack Snyder is, you know, a typical virtue signaler, because in the wake of really, really awful tragedies in America, he's saying he doesn't agree with hate. I have an Asian daughter. Geeks and Gamers kind of does spread this stuff. And then he's also saying, which is kind of sick, that he's saying because Zack Snyder has been dealing with tragedy and been dealing with a lot of things making this movie, that he said this stuff. And he just wanted to virtue signal. And so, again, I don't get the world that these guys live in. Anything to them is virtue signaling. Saying you don't agree with hate is virtue signaling. Not that he felt like he had to say this because of the content you guys put out. Because of the circles you guys swim in, you will have people having extreme conservative politics that directly fuel some of the most awful things happening in America. And at the very least, you guys are all pretty proud Trump supporters. And all the things that Trump says, you're always defending it. If you go on his politics channel, you'll see basically always attacking libs or AOC and stuff, always defending Trump and insane conservatives. But to summarize, do I think Zack Snyder did that out of the goodness of his own heart? I honestly don't know. It's impossible to say. Would Warner Brothers like him to say that if they knew who he was dealing with on this stream? I'd say they would. So who knows? But at the end of the day, it's funny because it's drawn a lot of attention to these guys who do peddle this crap. And it's also funny because they idolized him so much, and then he's just like, yeah, I'm not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers, and I don't support hate and divisive language and everything like that. So again, pretty hilarious. But to them, like you saw with Jeremy at the end, they'll just play it off, you know, virtue signaler, forced to do it. We stand by what we did, didn't do anything wrong. Lots of people on our team, some support Trump, some don't. Although as the leader of Geeks and Gamers, I support Trump, and most of the higher-ups also support Trump and have extreme right-wing politics. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What's the best cope you have seen to all this stuff? What's the best excuses they're making? If you like what you see, like the video, maybe subscribe. Check out my social media at the Kavernacle, Twitter and Instagram. Also check out my Patreon. Come join our communities on Discord and my subreddit if you want to get in contact with me. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching.